Hello, everyone. This is Mix K. I'm here today to go over the instructions for our famous scientist biography project. This is going to be the last project of the year. So once you're done with this, and if you have any other makeup work, that's basically it. So what you see right here, it's going to look similar to this in your Google Classroom. It's the instructions. Now, it's going to look a little bit different because I haven't actually posted it yet, but just to give you an idea. So if you look at this, there's some instructions here on how to get started, the rubric, and all these attachments. So I'm going to go through what all these attachments are. There will be one more link in here when you do this, and it will be the video I'm making right now. So that's why it's not on here yet, but you will have a video in this spot as well. So if we look here, the first thing you want to do is watch the video I'm doing right now. So great job. And then you want to look at the instructions and the rubric. So if we go over to the instructions and the rubric right now, I'm going to give it a second to load because I think I have too many things open. There we go. Okay, so you'll be able to see this rubric. So in the instructions, we're doing a famous scientist research project, and we're going to be doing, it's not a flip poster anymore, it's a PowerPoint because we're doing virtual learning right now. But for this project, you are going to pick a scientist that falls into one of these History Month categories. Now, I feel like when you're in science class, you end up learning about like the same three guys over and over and over again. So I want to challenge you guys to pick someone you haven't necessarily heard of before, or even maybe someone from a similar cultural background to you. Or just anyone that you've been interested in learning about and haven't had a chance to learn about yet. So if you look through these different history months, there's African American History Month, there's Asian Pacific American History Month, there's LGBT History Month. You have all these different options here. Now, obviously, I'm not perfect, so if I'm missing something from this list, you are more than welcome to let me know, and I will add it on here. Now, there are a couple different things you're going to be looking at. The first thing is a note catcher. Now, the note catcher is just a way for you to take notes while you're doing your research. So you can print it out, or you can open it up on Google Docs and just type in your notes as you go. That way you have everything in one place. Now, the note catcher doesn't actually count for a grade. It's optional, but I've created it for you so that you can have an easier time while doing your research. Now, for the poster, it's not a poster anymore, it's a PowerPoint, and you'll see an attachment for that. I want it to be colorful. I want it to be accurate. Spelling should be good. It should be neat. It should be creative. And then there are two slides within that part where you're going to be writing in full sentences. Now, this part isn't really like a presentation. It's not going to look like a nice presentation, but it's for me to read. So it's kind of like a little mini reflection section of this project. So what you'll have is two sections, contributions and reflections. You're going to need to write about 3 to 5 sentences for each, and make sure it's neat when it's on a PowerPoint, so it's going to be neat no matter what. You'll see my example in a minute. Also, make sure you're not plagiarizing. Write in your own words throughout this project. Some good sources I've listed here. Hold on, I gotta let my dog in because he's being difficult. And the project is going to be due Sunday, June 7th. This is just before grades close for the year. So make sure that you're getting that into me by Sunday evening. That's your last chance, okay? Now this rubric is also on Google Classroom. It just basically goes through what you're required to do. I'm going to go through it right now with you. So you need the scientist's full name. You need at least 3 pictures. One of them has to be of your scientist. You need to tell me what your scientist is famous for. So like some key bullets about why they're famous. Their birth and death date, or if they're still alive. Where they were born, where they grew up. What did they study? Where and how did they learn their field? And what degrees did they have? So some scientists might not have actually gone to a university or a school. They might have learned from their dad or from a husband or a family member. So just keep that in mind while you're doing your research. Where did they work and where did they do their research? And then I want 5 additional facts. For this, it can be any 5 facts that you haven't already included somewhere on your poster. Now, the next section, this is the contributions and reflections. It's got to be in full sentences. So what did your scientists contribute to the science community? So what were they famous for? What were some specifics regarding those contributions? So when, where, why, how, all those important details about why they were famous. What was the social impact of your scientists' discoveries? Why was their work important? So what was the importance of this work? And then the reflection part's more about you. Why did you choose the scientist? How do you feel about what you learned about this scientist? And what did you find the most interesting about the scientist's research? Okay, or their research. For quality of work, your bibliography needs to have at least 2 resources. Don't use Wikipedia. It's not the best. It's a good place to get started if you're trying to decide who you want to pick, but it's not what you want to use for actual research. Make sure it's neat, colorful, and creative. So this will add up to 50 points total. So that's the instructions and the rubric. Now I'm going to flip over to let me see here, the next document I wanted to show you guys. Now, once you go through the rubric, what I want you to do is look at this list of scientists. So what you'll notice is that there's a space where you can put your name. I want only one person doing each scientist. I wanted to try and cover as many different scientists as possible. Now, at the top of some of the pages, you'll see the different section titles. So we have African-American scientists for a couple pages. You can scroll through. And you'll see more and more scientists as you go down, women scientists, et cetera. And this goes through a bunch of different lists. If you get to the bottom, Hispanic, LGBT, scientists with disabilities, anything from that first page of the rubric, you'll see in this list. Once you pick a scientist, I want you to write your name in the little box. That's going to show that you claimed that scientist. And do not erase people's names. Please do not double put people's names in there. What you need to do is pick a scientist for yourself and then claim it by writing your name in the box. If you're having issues picking a scientist or someone's already picked someone or there's someone that isn't on this list, just email me and let me know and we'll work it out. So make sure you put your name in the box to show that that's who you picked. Now, this is the note catcher document. This was optional, like I said before. I don't know if that Grammarly thing was there the whole time. If it was, I apologize. So now for the note catcher, it's just a list of all the same information I just went over in the rubric. It's just there so you can type it in as you go so you can keep track of everything. So this is, once again, this is optional, but it is there to help you with your research and make sure you're keeping track of everything you need to do and you're not missing any important information. Now, here's your PowerPoint template. It has all the same stuff as the rubric, but I've just put it in there for you so you don't miss anything. You can change the font. You can change how it looks. You can change the order. It's up to you. Just make sure that you have this information in your PowerPoint and you have these slides, okay? So if you want to change it up, change the color, change the background, make it creative. At the very bottom of this, I've actually included the instructions and the rubric so that you don't need to flip back and forth between the project sheet and the PowerPoint over and over again. So if you look down at these last 3 slides, you have the instruction sheet and you have the rubric right there. So you have that to help you out while you work. Now, last thing I want to show you guys is my example. So I did Sally Ride. So you guys cannot do Sally Ride. I apologize. I like her so much. So you guys can't do her. I'm going to present just to show you my PowerPoint. So apologies in advance if you were attached to doing her, but I already did her, so you can't do her. Loading. I'm just going to wait a second. Oh, let me go to the very beginning. Okay, so you can see this is my title page. I have her name and her initials and a picture of her in space. You can see all her floating calculators. And then I listed the most important facts about why she's famous. And I put my name and the period on this first slide, okay? So name, initials, key facts, and then your name and period and a picture. Early life, I have her birth date, her death date, where she was born and where she grew up, and a little picture of her as a kid. You want to include something from their early life for this first slide. Education, so what she studied, okay, and I even included what she focused on for her research, where she went to college. Now remember, if your person didn't go to college, you can write who taught them. all the degrees that she earned, and then where she worked. Okay. If they worked in multiple places, make sure you list those multiple places where they worked. If they went to multiple universities, list all those universities. If they studied multiple things, list all of those things. You want to be as detailed as possible here. Okay, next part would be 5 fun facts. So I have her facts here. I made sure that her facts did not repeat from the other facts that I've already included. Okay, so I wrote about how she came out after her death. I wrote about how she worked with children and helped motivate them to be scientists, and then just some other silly facts that I found out about her. Now, you can see for the contribution sections, these are little mini paragraphs. So it's not going to look like how you would want to present a PowerPoint. This is more for me to read through. So make sure that you're writing in full sentences in paragraph form. And same with the reflection section, okay? So you can add extra pictures if you have space. The last slide is my bibliography. You can see her meeting Obama here. And then my rubric at the end where I just put all my checks there because I knew I did everything right. Okay, so that is everything. If you have any questions or concerns, please email me and let me know. If you're having issues picking a scientist, email me and let me know. But that should be everything. When you are done with your project, make sure you hit submit on Google Classroom so that it actually gets turned into me. Okay, that's everything. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.